Tosses, you don't throw it out.
Solid. Oh my, what a...
Call me a giant or call me a 49er. Call me a warrior cause I follow a code of honor.
What is up, guys? This is your boy Fight Night's Finest, the Sofa Commentator, bringing you guys some head-to-head gameplay against a subscriber. I had this on the hard drive for a while. I just want you guys to know this isn't the most competitive gameplay, but I always enjoy playing with my subscribers and always enjoy playing against them. I'm Roy Jones Jr., he is Evander Holyfield. But for the next few videos that's coming out on my channel, the focus on it is going to be a lot different from what you've been seeing lately, which is good, solid, competitive gameplay, sim-like style, all up in your opponent's face, just boxing well. That's what the focus has been lately on the channel, and we're changing that up this time around because there's some things that need to be talked about and addressed. Today's subject, we will be talking about boxers in general. Now, I know what you're thinking, boxers and boxers ratings. That's what I should have said. Now, there's so many boxers in this game that should be here, and for the next installment of Fight Night, all God knows is that they better be in the next installment, or there's going to be a lot of criticism and a lot of hate that will be put onto these gameplays and onto the next game when it comes out. So let's get started. There's a lot of boxers so far that's missing, and if I miss any guy that you feel should be in the next installment, this is just off the dome, and I write down the list or nothing. Feel free to put them in the comment section because I don't know all about boxing as I should know, or as I would like to know. There's some things out there that I do not know. Maybe you guys can fill in, but there's tons of boxers that should have been put in to the game versus the ones that are actually in it, and some of them even could have been used as replacements because some of these boxers, okay, let me state it as this: 96% of the boxers that are in the game aren't used. Let's be completely honest here. Nobody uses Emmanuel Augustine. Most of you guys probably didn't even know he was in the game. Danny Jacobs, not used. A lot of the guys, and Jesse Vargas, is not used. A lot of these guys are not used. And the reason behind why most of these boxers aren't used is because, to be honest, they absolutely fucking suck. Now, I'm not a cursor. I'm not a guy who curses on no videos, but to be honest, a lot of these guys fucking suck. Like, the other day I tried getting some gameplay for you guys with Kendall Hall. That dude's punches is so inaccurate, it's not even funny. Like, I study angles very carefully of this game, and I've been playing long enough to know at what angles to throw certain punches, when not to throw certain punch, and what punch should land at a certain time. Now, I don't have the most tremendous accuracy, I know 80-70%, but usually I'll be above 50 or 40%, which is pretty damn good for a boxer, and against tough competition, probably in close to 40 or into the higher 30%, which is pretty damn good. So I think I know a good thing about accuracy, but to see how some of these boxers actually function, how quick they're able to be knocked out versus the higher up boxers, which is why most people use them, is ridiculous. I think the way the game was created in terms of how the boxers' ratings went and how has that been drawn up accordingly determined how the boxers work. And with the auto block system, it doesn't really help as to how the boxers work. You can't be, if you want to use, for example, Emmanuel Augustine, as I said, nobody fucking uses him. You gotta be like, you can't get touched because there's a good chance if I fight with Emmanuel Augustine against Sugar Ray Robinson, which is how it should be, he'll get knocked the fuck out. But if I had the ability to actually control my fighter with using regular block, I could actually make him work for me. I can actually pick certain shots that I want to. The other day, actually, I was trying to bring some Sergio Mora gameplay for you guys as well. Guy picked Robinson and I picked Mora. It was so hard just to throw, and Mora has pretty damn good speed. It was so hard just to exchange a punch with Robinson. I would throw one jab out, and by the time that jab landed, he would have already fired off about 2 or 3 punches. It was that difficult just to get a punch off, and these boxers compared to other boxers is ridiculous, and that's because of how the rating system works with how the punch number goes with the accuracy. Most boxers don't have anything, like the lower ranked boxers don't have really anything above 11 or 13. Take for example Anthony Medina. I use him quite a bit. His best punch is a 16 left hook to the body, which I believe that's what it is, but it's pretty damn close to that. And all his other punches are like 11s, 8s, 7s, and 6s, a few 13s. Like, I don't think anybody's punches is that bad for them to become a champion. Now, mind you, I believe Anthony Medina finished his career 40-3, only losing 3 fights. He had to be doing something right in order for him to be a lot better than how he is made in the game. Now, in terms of some of the missing boxes in the game, I don't have much time to talk about this, but in terms of some of the missing boxers in the game, you think, one, why is there no Floyd Mayweather? That is the biggest one, and we'll just start right there, and I'll give you a small list afterwards. But if you think about it, Floyd, he's not in the game. He's probably the most talked about and most popular boxer in the current sport today. Versus you got some good guys like Pacquiao, Andre Ward, and all those guys who are actually pretty damn good, but maybe not as popular as Floyd, since he's been around, I believe, for about 16-15 years now. So, you know, given the Mayweather background of boxing with Roger Mayweather, you know, his father and all those other people, it's very understandable to see why he's the most popular boxer. Whatever money he requests for you to pay him, it should have been sacrificed, and you could have took that money, because apparently you have to pay certain boxers in order to get them into the game, or you have to pay all of them in order to make an imitation and put them in the game or get rights to use their name. Apparently Floyd was asking for quite a bit, and we can all understand and know that Floyd is a bit money hungry for whatever he wants, and if he doesn't want it, you don't get it, and then it does leave some people upset, like the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. I believe he wanted 70 to 30% of the money to the winner or to the loser, or guaranteed money. So something went down with that. Enough about Floyd's money hungriness. But it was definitely, at this point in time, considering the next installment of Fight Night, you have to pay him whatever he wants, because he has to be in the game, or it's going to be a huge uproar. But off the subject of Floyd, you know, Sergio Martinez, he has to be in the game. Some old school guys like James Toney, he's not in the game. Ernie Shavers, there's guys who should be in the game, but they're not in there. Canelo Alvarez, I believe that's his name, he has to be in there. Austin Trout has to be in there. Lamont Peterson has to be in there. There's guys now that are coming up through the ranks that are actually pretty damn good, and even though they're not talked about yet, they need to be put into the game. So you could do like Madden does with the system of whenever a game goes down, the ratings are just accordingly to the performance level and how good this player has already been noted, and how good he performs will get him a certain amount of points added towards his rating system. And you can do that for boxers every time they fight. For example, my boy Shawn Porter. Most people don't know who he is, but he's pretty damn good. Hasn't lost a fight yet. I believe he's 19-0 now. And the guy is an absolute monster. So every time you see him fight, you may start him off with, if I was to put him in the game right now, I'll start him off with about an 84 overall. And every time I see him fight and see him improve, I'll up some of his punches up, or downgrade some of his punches and put some of his defense up. For the old school guys like Tyson, Ali, Frazier, Foreman, Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, Robinson, you can't touch their rating system because they already been through whatever it is they needed to be through in order to establish their career. And all you can do for them is see how they work into the gameplay. Now, I'm not saying do like Call of Duty does, and because a gun is popular, you nerf the gun and then it becomes shit. No. What you do for the fighters is, if based on how powerful they are, you balance them out. So all the higher ranked players, for example, Tyson and Ali, you max them at a point where it feels balanced between the two. If there was a more popular matchup setup, or whatever fighter they use, you know, they're set up to a point where it's balanced between all the higher players. Like, it feels like you're at a certain level of balance. Now, the way you counteract the boxers at the higher rank versus the boxers at the lower ranks is, yes, there should be a sense of power, of higher power towards the higher ranked boxers, the guys with the 93s overalls and the 92s versus the guys with the 84s and the 85s. There should be a different level of power, and a more advanced player will end up using the boxers at the mid and lower ranges. But when they win with a lower ranked boxer against a high ranked power boxer, you give them more skill points, you give them more, and you give more power to the player who uses the fighters at a disadvantage. But you can't take away, just because this fighter may be a B+ rank versus an A+ rank, you can't completely outclass them. It should be determined based on the player's skill. Yes, Tyson is a fucking beast, and he may compensate for a lack of skill on a less experienced player, but he shouldn't be so overpowered that a B+ boxer shouldn't have absolutely no chance. You have to make a balance between the player's skill and the boxer that they pick, and the player's skill should always override the boxer that they pick. For example, if you play OWC now and you have a 78 ranked boxer going against a 79 ranked boxer with a chin on 11, and your chin is a fucking 4, it's not fair that because I decided to try to pick this fighter that he knocks me down so quick. There has to be, that's why I say the auto block system is bad, because it all depends on your defense and your ability, how well you move around the ring. You have to understand that the way your footwork works and the speed of your footwork, it shouldn't be the way it is, where it increases, or it feels like it increases once you start going up the ranks. Because I'll tell you right now, when I fight with my lightweight at a 90 versus when I fight with him at a 80, 79, it doesn't, I understand the speed boost there, but even at an 85 to 78, the feeling of the footwork and the way it works doesn't add up. It feels like it advances as you go up in the stages of developing your punches and your combination speed, and the combination speed feels like it's tied in with how fast your footwork is. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but that's the way I feel whenever I play it. So there should be certain factors that if you develop well enough, that should be able, as a player, this is what I'm saying, as a player, should make up for the lack of power that your boxer possesses versus a higher ranked boxer. So those are just my opinions on it, on how it should be made and how it should work, and how boxer ratings versus the boxers and missing boxers. I stated a few that I thought should be in the game. Just to name a few more: Andre Ward, Adrian Broner should be in the game. At the heavyweight, you pretty much got most of the guys that should be in the game, but I would like to see some more heavyweights implemented into the game, because most of them are just story characters. It doesn't feel and take the fucking story characters out of the game. Like, for online play, don't put them in there. It just doesn't feel right. Like, for head to, I can understand if you want to create a boxer, you use that in OWC, but for head to head, you can use a way bigger variety of boxers to put in head to head. It just shouldn't be any created story mode characters if you put one into the head to head gameplays. Let most of the boxers that come are actually real life fighters. You can go to Friday Night Fights, put my boy Delvin Rodriguez in there. You can even change the way the game is played. It's not just based on overall. Make it based on fighter class, like the way it is in real life, where it's like people are ranked. This is a B+ fighter. Like Lennox Lewis, my boy Sakuraba was talking about him the other day. A- B+ fighter, and versus Tyson would be like an A++, A+ fighter. Those are the guys. Those are the difference. Make the ranking system a little different from the way it is now. Let me know if you guys want me to make a part 2 to this. If so, I will be more than glad to do so, and put some of your input that you put in the comment section into the commentary. As you can see here, he's unable, or I believe he's unable to get up on the last attempt. But I'd like to say thank you for the fight. This is your boy Fight Night's Finest, the Sofa Commentator, signing off. And if you enjoyed, please hit the like button for me and leave the comments. We need the comments in order to make this discussion live. Signing off.
Don't I'm the man in the place. Punch you in the face. wait.